Imagine this: a state-of-the-art Boeing 777 carrying 239 souls vanishes without a trace. Not a single ping, not a distress call, just gone. One moment it's soaring through the night sky, and the next it's as if it was swallowed by the ocean. What if I told you that nearly a decade later, we still have no definitive answer to where Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 went, or why? And what if the official narrative might be hiding a darker, far more disturbing truth? To understand the chilling enigma of MH370, we need to go back to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, on March 8, 2014. It was just after midnight when Flight 370, a Boeing 777-200ER, took off from Kuala Lumpur International Airport, bound for Beijing, China. A seemingly routine 6-hour red-eye flight. On board were 227 passengers, including a group of artists, families, and even a cohort of employees from a prominent technology company, along with 12 crew members, led by Captain Zaharie Ahmad Shah, a highly experienced pilot with over 18,000 flight hours, and First Officer Farik Abdul Hamid. The weather was good, the aircraft relatively new, everything appeared normal. As MH370 ascended, its transponder, a device that communicates with air traffic control, was fully operational, broadcasting its position, altitude, and speed. Controllers watched its progress on their screens. At 1:19 a.m., Malaysian Air Traffic Control said, "Good night, Malaysian 370." The pilots responded, "Good night, Malaysian 370." Those would be the last words ever heard from the cockpit. 2 minutes later, MH370 crossed into Vietnamese airspace and, as per protocol, was supposed to contact Ho Chi Minh City Air Traffic Control. But it never did. From that moment on, the world began to unravel a mystery that would defy logic and push the boundaries of human understanding. Now here's where the story takes a dark turn, where the facts diverge from any semblance of normalcy. At 1:21 a.m., seconds after the final goodnight message, MH370's transponders suddenly, inexplicably powered down. Not a malfunction, but a deliberate shutdown. The plane vanished from civilian radar screens. For hours, neither Malaysian nor Vietnamese air traffic control seemed to realize the gravity of the situation. There was confusion, miscommunication, and a delay in initiating any search. But military radar, capable of tracking unidentified objects, picked up something profoundly disturbing. It showed MH370, instead of continuing its programmed flight path northeast to Beijing, executing a sharp, deliberate turn. It turned west, then south, flying over the Malaysian peninsula, then out into the Andaman Sea, an area it had no business being in. The plane wasn't simply lost, it was actively being flown away from its destination, away from any established air routes. And then silence. Complete, agonizing silence. What was happening inside that cockpit? Who was at the controls? And why was an airliner full of innocent people seemingly being taken on a suicidal journey into the vast, unforgiving Indian Ocean? Navies and air forces from multiple nations launched an unprecedented search operation, initially focusing on the South China Sea, where the civilian radar contact was lost. But days later, when military radar data finally came to light, the search shifted dramatically to the Indian Ocean. The key to this shift lay not in radar pings, but in ghostly automated handshake signals. These were pings sent out by the aircraft's satellite communication system, Inmarsat, at regular intervals, even after the transponder was off. They didn't carry data about the plane's location, but they confirmed that MH370 was still powered on and communicating with a satellite. Forensic analysis of these faint, almost imperceptible signals revealed a haunting flight path. The plane continued flying for over 7 hours after it vanished from radar, heading south, deep into the remote southern Indian Ocean, along an arc. An arc where, eventually, it ran out of fuel and plunged into the sea. This sophisticated analysis painted a picture not of a chaotic scramble or a mechanical failure, but of a controlled, prolonged flight by an entity, or entities, with a chilling objective. The plane's course changes were precise, methodical. It flew around islands popular with vacationers, avoiding detection. It ascended to 45,000 feet, potentially to depressurize the cabin, then descended to 23,000 feet, which some speculate could have incapacitated passengers and crew, rendering them unconscious. The implications were terrifying. This wasn't an accident. This was a deliberate act. But who was behind the controls? All evidence, circumstantial as it may be, points to the pilots, specifically Captain Zaharie Ahmad Shah. A home flight simulator seized from his house contained routes deep into the southern Indian Ocean, eerily similar to MH370's actual path. Was this a practice run? A meticulously planned act of mass murder-suicide? The official report from the Malaysian government, while inconclusive, leaned towards a deliberate diversion of the aircraft by a capable individual, strongly implying the pilot. But no motive was ever conclusively established. To this day, the main fuselage of MH370 has never been found. Despite the largest, most expensive search in aviation history, covering hundreds of thousands of square kilometers of seabed, only a few pieces of debris, confirmed to be from MH370, have washed ashore on distant coastlines, thousands of miles from the presumed crash site. These barnacle-encrusted fragments offer tantalizing clues, but no answers to the ultimate question: why? Why did a fully functional passenger jet, with 239 lives on board, disappear so completely? Was it a rogue pilot? A hijacking that went catastrophically wrong? A sophisticated act of terrorism meticulously executed to leave no trace? The families of those on board live in a purgatory of unanswered questions, forever haunted by the unknown. The unresolved disappearance of MH370 remains one of aviation's most profound and disturbing enigmas, a stark reminder that sometimes, even in our technologically advanced world, the truth can simply vanish, leaving behind only shadows and the chilling echoes of what might have been. If you want to delve deeper into other unexplained disappearances that defy all logic, stay tuned for our next video, where we explore the mystery of Amelia Earhart.